Hey guys, thought I'd make a video, another one tonight, sitting here as you can see downtown. I want to talk about something real quick about the problems that I have, and I think Grotesque Subhuman said he has it. Uh, and I'm sure many, especially in the incel community, a lot of the male incels, and maybe even some women incels, but it's going to be mostly male, have a problem. And the problem that a lot of incels have, I believe, is that they are not neurotypical, they're neurodivergent. Uh, Not all of them. I mean, we know, like I said, if you're ugly, and I'm, not trying to be sarcastic, uh, if you're very unattractive, I mean, obviously that's going to affect you. We get all that. But a lot of times, a lot of incels, I'll guarantee you, that are on that spectrum are autistic in some way. They may have OCD in some way. They have some kind of neurodivergent damage. They got some kind of damage to their nervous system. Something in their brain or nervous system is not functioning normally. They are not, as the incels term it, they're not a normie. There's something wrong. Uh, and I'm part of that. Grotesque Subhuman on his channel, he kind of mentioned he's part of that. I believe there's another person that's an incel. I've seen his video. He was a black guy. I think he said he had it, maybe on a mild level, but he had it somewhat. And that's going to affect men in a lot of ways. It'll affect women too if they have it, but a woman's going to always have that benefit. It's always easier, for a woman to kind of get things in this world that she needs. Now, I'm talking about needs. I don't mean wants, but that she needs. A man maybe to take care of her, somebody to take care of her, whatever. She can a lot of times get those things. If she, is not a psycho, or if she's, like I said, is in some way. Even if she has, maybe an autistic or some kind of neurodevelopment disorder. And if there's one way I can describe, and I'm going to make a video, like I said, about this. If I can ever get me a video sharing software, I want to do this. But I can't do it until I get that. I think one of the best ways to understand kind of what we are, there's a TV show that used to come on called Monk. I don't know if y'all remember the TV show. It was a detective show, kind of like if you think of Columbo or Perry Mason or Matlock or shows like that. Monk was kind of the last version of that. And he was very different than all those others. And that, yeah, they were intelligent and they would always figure the case out. Monk is the same way. He always figures it out, and solves a murder mystery or whatever. And the thing about him is he has neuro problems. Unlike most of the, Matlock doesn't have that. Perry Mason doesn't have that. I don't know much. I've never watched Columbo, so I don't know. But Monk does. And the point about Monk is it seems like he's a mixture of OCD, which stands for obsessive compulsive disorder, or on the autistic spectrum somewhere. He's kind of a mixture, and a little bit of it's overdone, I'm sure, because it's a TV show and they try to make it a little funny in the show, that, because Monk's kind of weird, He has severe problems, severe phobias. I have phobias. And it's very hard for him to function. He can, but it's very difficult for him. He has, as he admits, pretty much had no friends in his life. He was married, which is a theme of the show, to a woman who was kind of a news reporter, and her name on the show was supposedly Trudy. And she was murdered. And that's kind of a theme of the show, is that she got murdered. And the point was, she made his life better. The one talent he had is he was a brilliant detective. He's a savant, really. It doesn't say that, but that's pretty much what he is. He's a savant. He can solve any case. He has an amazing attention to detail, which helps him, to solve cases. And she kind of made him better. It's kind of like she made him more normal. He wasn't completely normal because he had problems, but it was better. And of course, then when she got murdered, he snapped. And it made all of his symptoms worse, which can happen to us. If we go through a severe trauma, it can damage us for life. And I do think some of that happened to me, but I don't know. She made his life better. And like I said, when she died and was murdered, it's like he snapped. He went into seclusion 3 years, and got fired from couldn't be a detective anymore, but he helps out. Once he got better, thanks to a woman that became his assistant, he becomes better. And he works, like I said, I'm saying this for everybody that hadn't seen the show. Watch it, because it's a good show. He comes out of the kind of seclusion, because he had been, basically he got agoraphobic too. He didn't leave his house for 3 years. And he finally gets out, and he becomes a detective for them. He doesn't get paid, but he helps them because he's a brilliant detective. But he has so many severe problems. He has, like I said, severe phobias. He's almost afraid of everything. Tight spaces, touching people, anything dirty, anything out of place. Like if you go into a house and the picture is tilted, that's going to drive him insane. He'll have to fix it, no matter what. He'll go nuts if he doesn't, whether it's his house or whatever. He has to touch everything. So at the start of the show, he's walking down the street and he's touching all the meters. He's just touching them going along because he can't help it. And I don't have that problem, but I have OCD symptoms besides just the mental stuff. And he is so particular about everything. He can't stand odd numbers. Like if he sees 8, he wants 10 of something. Just very fanatic. He's very fanatical, that's the point. And he's very messed up. And, sorry guys, I had to pick the phone up for a second, I was itching. And the point too in the show, and they do this in a few episodes, one time he gets fired from being a detective. They get rid of him because of, even though he didn't really work for them, something about the police chief hated him or something, and they get rid of him. So he's got to go out and find a job. And, it's kind of how these things are, in that when he's a detective, he's very useful. He's brilliant. He is a brilliant detective. But out in the real world, he's useless. Because he can't function. He cannot hold any other kind of job. Because he tries to go and get a job. And of course, every one of them just, blow up in his face. He can't do it. He can't function and do the things you need to do on those jobs. And it's really sad, and it's a good show because he's just kind of a tortured soul, He hates being what he is, but he can't help it. And that's how we are in a lot of ways. I'm OCD. I hate it. And I know it's irrational. You know that it is. That it doesn't make sense, but you can't help it because it's in the brain. There's something wrong with your nervous system or your brain that causes these crazy things. It's been scientifically proven now. They've studied the brain waves, these people, and they said, yeah, there is definitely something damaged in the brain. It's not their fault. And it's really sad with him because he wants a friend so bad. And he's so needy, on the show. That's the point, because he doesn't have anything. Everybody thinks he's weird. Nobody hangs with him. They use him basically as a detective. But they don't have anything to do with him outside of, the police station. And it's a good show. And I think if you want to understand somebody if they have autistic problems, OCD, or any kind of mental, and I don't call that a mental illness, but if they have any kind of mental illnesses or things, watch that show. It helps you to kind of understand what a person like us is. Yeah, a little bit of it, it's over the top a little bit because it's supposed to be funny, and they do little jokes about how he's so quirky with everything. because he'll drive you crazy if you're a normal person. You're going to be like, what is wrong with this guy? But I think it would help you to understand that these people have very hard lives. And most of us are not savants like him. I think that's what they also think. Well, they're probably a little weirder, but they have amazing talent. Most of them don't. Most of them are just average. Most of them are like me. I don't have any special talent. I'm not some brilliant guy in math or English or public speaking or sports or computers. I'm nothing like that. And there's a lot of us that are like that. We're not any of those things. We're just damaged. And we have to get through life the best that we can. And it's hard. It's very hard. So I just thought I'd mention that, and y'all can go and watch that sometime, the show, if you've never seen it. It's a good show, and like I said, can kind of help you to understand autistic and OCD type people. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. I'm fixing to head out of this area. I just thought I'd talk about that, and have a good night, guys. Any comments you want to leave about the show or about the kind of people like us, I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.